everybody, welcome into the show. The NBA All-Star Game took place yesterday in Staples Center. I believe the NBA season still does not resume for another few days. So a lot of the players are going to be around the Los Angeles area, including Jimmy Butler. We're going to get to him momentarily. So the NBA All-Star Game, 148-145. Team LeBron beats Team Steph, as you're seeing right here via NBA stats. LeBron put up 29, 10, and 8. Steph Curry 11, 6, and 5. And LeBron James was the All-Star Game MVP as well. Before I get into anything that I gotta say, All-Star Game is good.
All-Star Game was good.
Defense was played, which is always the narrative of what doesn't occur. So I was happy to see it.
And it didn't only happen at the end of the game. They played defense throughout.
Well, remember when they closed the first half as well? Team LeBron was pressing.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of always talk about new blood, new coaches coming in and doing something different. Sometimes these college coaches get this success, they get a job in the NBA. And isn't Quinn's in there, right?
Quinn Snyder?
Yeah.
Oh man, he's killing it with the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, he's with Utah. So like new blood helps because it's a change of pace. And I've always said this. I said, man, maybe the NBA team should throw a press on every once in a while. And you know what happens when you throw a press on? And it's at the All-Star Game. The best players in the league, they look like JV teams suddenly, because these guys haven't seen a press since they were in high school. Who was it? It was James Harden and Klay Thompson. They fumbled the ball before someone could even get close to them. They went, "Oh, what is this?"
Yes,
and threw the ball away. Klay Thompson had it in his left hand and looked at Steph and went and threw it 3 more feet behind him out of bounds. So
this has a lot
Harden
to do
just threw it away.
So this has a lot to do with the new format of LeBron picking his team and Steph picking his team, because although it's East against the West that we're historically ingrained in, it seems like this was given a new attitude where guys were competing against one another who normally wouldn't.
Right.
Maybe they had a little something to prove. I wouldn't go as far as saying that they really wanted to make an impact so they could say, "Oh, look, I showed you during the All-Star Game." It was just fun and it was competitive, and I think this was something that the All-Star Game needed.
Totally.
Because they needed this reform instead of being, the 148, 130 blowouts that we've seen in years past. It's good to see guys that play with each other go up against one another. Because now, think about this. Granted, they're in 2 different conferences, but Joel Embiid and Russell Westbrook, the fact that they went back and forth against one another, you're smirking already. Anybody who's watching this that just heard me mutter those words are smirking. It was a highlight. It was great to see that they now have this weird rivalry, and you can point back to pre-All-Star Game and then the All-Star Game as we're still writing the book of their own rivalry.
It gives them a little more energy because the All-Star Game is a big celebration. A lot of the guys care more about, or at least are looking more forward to the parties and the events in the city, especially when it's in a city like LA, because you can go outside. When it's in Minnesota, you're like, okay, we're gonna be in our hotel rooms and go to that party at that club, as long as we sneak into the car with the heat already on before we get to the next spot. The city was just, everyone was out.
Yeah.
Even though, although Angelinos were like, "Oh my God, it's 70 degrees." Everyone else here was like, "I love this, look at this, it's February and it's 70 degrees.
It actually was chilly this morning.
It's just gotten colder this morning. So anyway, usually that's the focus, and it gives them another energy. Like, okay, so Westbrook and Durant were playing together again, and we're like, "Oh my God, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna pass it to each other?" Yeah, there's so many underlying things. And then I think LeBron kind of mentioned it in the post-game interview with TNT. When he said, he goes, "It gives us a chance to go back to our roots. The pickup game, just, it's like we love this game. We get to remember what it's like to just play it, And we pick our teams and we play no matter where you came from. We're not East versus West. It's, oh, I want to play with Durant."
Right.
That's who we picked first.
Was there anything that you would change though? As you've seen so many All-Star games of years past, you're seeing the new format now. Is there anything that you would change?
Maybe as it goes forward, so far with this, I think everything was perfect with this one, by the way. So this year, but as things happen, they just have to keep their eye on it. Maybe the manner in which the captains of the teams are selected. That may be the only thing, because that's based off the highest vote getters from the East and the West, is what it was. So it still starts with the structure of East and West. But say, say LeBron goes to the Lakers and then you have it again. You got to have someone that's in the West as the highest vote getter and someone from the East the highest vote getter. Say it's DeMar DeRozan.
So you just want 2 of the highest vote getters and no conferences whatsoever.
Yeah, because the thing is, you never know where players are going to be. And it was great this year because it was Steph and LeBron who were the two biggest names in the league, so it worked out fine.
I don't even think it matters where somebody's going to go. Like ESPN had an article today where they quoted anonymous NBA players. Where should LeBron go? Where shouldn't he go? Who should be his head coach next year? What have you? And like that's cool, but with the conferences being in place, I really didn't. First off, it was a little confusing for me to follow because it was like, oh, so he's going to have the starters of the East, but then the reserves are just going to be picked, and then the West is going to have the start. So I didn't even like that altogether because it was a little confusing at first. Obviously,
so the reserves were more based in the conference. That's what I did.
No, the starters were, and the reserves were not. So you were able to draft your team through the reserving slots that you had for your team. So I agree with you. If we had like LeBron picking a team and Steph picking a team, let it be the two highest vote getters, and then just have a pick of the litter.
That's what I thought. So it wasn't. So again, tell me, I missed how I thought it was because openly, obviously there was Western Conference players on LeBron's team.
Yeah.
Who's an Eastern Conference player? So why wasn't it just a free for all? I thought it was.
It was not.
He had Westbrook. He had Durant.
Right. Because I thought what happened was they were to have the guys who would be the top vote getters, right? And then no matter what, through all of the votes, the highest votes that those guys would have, they would still go to that respective team.
Oh, you mean just from the captains?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you meant the rest of the squad.
No.
Okay, yes.
Here's one thing I would change though. I know that the Big Three has done this, and I remember Rock and Jock Slam on like MTV used to do this. Settle with like a 4-point line. Give me like a 5.
Like there's a circle point.
Yeah.
It's a hot spot.
Yeah, a hot spot. Yeah, totally. Like a Wi-Fi hot spot. So like, it'll be like on the right-hand side or the left-hand side, and
but it has to be deep. It has to be Steph Curry deep.
It'll be deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, make it like a 5-point line. Like the All-Star game is supposed to be fun. Just do it. No, is it too outrageous?
I'm 50-50 because it would be fun. But then when your team is just like gotten a 7-point lead at the end of the game, and next they hit a couple of 5-pointers, and you're down by 3. You're like,
yeah,
like now it's no longer basketball.
How is that no longer basketball? You're still putting the ball in a hoop.
But different rules, I mean, I'm sure back in the day when they implemented when they allowed blocks to be counted as stats, they're like, oh my God, a block? Who cares?
Oh, was that like in the 70s?
It was probably around the 60s.
They still didn't allow dunking though. Yeah. Most NBA All-Star MVP awards, Kobe Bryant, Bob Pettit with 4, LeBron James with 3. I love how ball is life, but Michael Jordan and Shaq should have won the award in '96 instead of MJ, like no shade. And then lastly, King James' subtle sneaker response to Fox News saying he's more than an athlete. We've covered that previously. We're not gonna get too far into it. Check it out at youtube.com/TYT Sports. But yeah, the one thing I think I would change is just having a 4-point line, maybe sending someone to the penalty box if they do something that's like a little messed up.
Or maybe, okay.
Do a 5-on-4.
And not that it got to this point, but also fouls were called this game a lot more than normally, right? Maybe. Like any other pickup game, if I foul someone 5 times, I'm not on the verge of fouling out. Maybe there's no limit of fouls. So that maybe a star player has 5 fouls or 6 fouls.
But what if you go into like double overtime?
Right, that's what I mean. So they should not have a limit on fouls.
No, I'm saying they should. Because then if you foul too much, you're being penalized. I still think there needs to be some sort of like
this is a maybe. So it was just a thought, but maybe just because I'm thinking the full nature and the full feel of a pickup game. Nobody's counting fouls and be like, oh man, you got 5, you have to leave the pickup game in a minute.
All right, well, I guess that's what we would change and what we would keep. Let us know your thoughts, comment section below. Subscribe to TYT Sports.